Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago and Mistwood.
This is Party of Fore, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast. We are coming on the air with exciting news at the Party of Fore podcast here at Mistwood Golf Club. I'm Ben Hutchison alongside Andy Michelson. Andy, big golf news, as I said. We're talking 10-minute intervals, foursomes, single-rider carts, two people if they're in the same family. Things are headed the right direction.
Absolutely huge news. So on top of that, we've got some other things too. With foursomes now, families are able to ride in carts together, which is huge. That was something that we lobbied for a lot early on. Things like our performance center are now open. They'll be open on the 29th for instruction and club fitting, which is really exciting for us. It's a big piece of the Mistwood pie for us, so we're really excited to get all those things going. So this is going to be feeling a little bit more normal or a lot more normal, especially in the next week.
And you're a board member with the IPGA. Mm-hmm. We've done a lot of work with them. We've been lobbying hard, working hard. A lot of people over there working hard. It's nice to see this happen because I know there's a lot of good people behind the scenes trying to make this happen for the public.
Yeah, there was a lot of pushing, pulling, giving, taking between us, the legislators, the governor's office, every little bit. Ben, you played a huge part in all this, doing all the videos for us and things like that. Just a lot of different steps and different things needed to happen in order to get this done. So it's not like somebody just flipped the switch and decided to do it, the next day. This has been ongoing since literally March 25th, just to be able to get to this point. And I'm glad that we're pairing a lot of this with the phases of the state. It felt like some of the stuff was disconnected from the actual state phases. So, again, we're in phase 3 or going to be in phase 3 on the 29th. We're already writing up plans for what does phase 4 look like for golf and loosening the restrictions. The goal here is not to get to a new normal. The goal here is to literally get back to normal.
And I think a lot of golfers have seen the sport from a different perspective now in the last month or so. What's the feedback been like to you?
I mean, it's been extremely positive. And I think one of the cool things, too, about golf right now is people are walking. People are kind of enjoying the elements as they should be on the golf course. But we've seen a lot of positive feedback and been very, very thankful for the people that have come out to play Mistwood, that they are complying with the guidelines. And everyone's just really excited to be back on the golf course. That's just the overwhelming effect of all of this.
We talked about the physical side of it, the mental health, and I was talking with a member today, and he said it's been good to walk the course because you think about shots differently. You approach the game and your game differently at that point.
Yeah, you see things that you wouldn't have normally seen when you're taking it slow and taking it shot by shot. It's a really good way to process around a golf. When I'm playing competitively, I would rather be walking than riding in a cart, just because you evaluate and you process things a little bit differently. You're not rushing up just to hit that next shot. So I think people are definitely enjoying golf in a different way, and this will probably encourage more people to walk and see it as valued exercise and valued relief, honestly, from daily stresses.
And so we hit May 29th. What are you most excited for?
For me, selfishly, is just having the chance to play with my family. We're a golfing family. All 4 of us play, and having the ability to do that finally is going to be huge for us personally. From a business standpoint here at Mistwood, I'm really excited to see our teachers being able to get back to teaching. The things that they love to do, and our fitters get back to fitting. I know that probably for the last couple of months here, they felt like they really didn't have a place, and they've been awesome. Helping with starting and maintenance and things like that. But getting them back into their true element, what defines Mistwood and sets us apart is the performance center operation. So it'd be good to get those guys back.
So with teaching and instruction and club fittings here at Mistwood, how will that work with social distancing?
We still are taking into account all of the social distancing factors as well as making sure that everything is sanitized. So For instance, in our fitting department, we're already putting together sanitation plans for how we're going to treat the shared equipment between the player and the fitter. And then also on the teaching and fitting side, we're making considerations if there's teachings or fittings where we might get inside of that social distance boundary of 6 feet. You might see an instructor in a mask. You might see a fitter in a mask. Don't be too alarmed by that, but we're just making sure that we're properly following all the social distancing guidelines.
And as far as the range, we already space people far apart.
Yeah, and so it's kind of weird because we're kind of already prepared for it. We've always had our golf balls to where it's not a shared thing. They're in pyramids, and those will be spaced out every 10 feet. The one change to some of our stations would be taking out some of the shared equipment. Things like bag stands will come out, which will give you room to put your bag in place. But any type of shared equipment's going to be discouraged. And fortunately for us, we're in a spot where we were kind of already doing a lot of these things.
I haven't gotten out to hit golf balls this year at Mistwood. I know that's bad.
I played my first 9 holes last night.
It's like you work at a golf course. People assume you golf all the time. But one plus, if there has to be one plus out there for what's transpired as far as golf courses go, the course is in amazing shape right now.
Yeah, it's an absolutely perfect shape. The greens last night were it was like putting during a member guest. They were absolutely perfect, just pristine. And I don't think the conditioning is going to go away. When you talk about people that have been walking, I think that a golf course a lot of the time is maintained better by people that walk because they're entering the greens from the front of the greens, and they tend to fix more ball marks as they're approaching their ball on the green. So I think that people will take note of that for sure, and hopefully these great conditions that we're seeing not only here but everywhere else continue.
Shout out to our superintendent, Ben Kellenhofer, and his crew. And then also we have a lot of really good, responsible golfers, like you said, that might go out of the way to just replace a divot or fill something in just because they do care about the game and they want to enjoy their time out here and make it look as good as possible on their end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that our membership in particular really takes ownership in the golf course. They're making sure to take all the proper steps. Any divots or ball marks that are made, they're definitely taking care of them.
So you're obviously connected in the golf world, especially here in Illinois. What's the conversations been like with other golf pros or directors of golf out there?
The engagement that we've had probably in the last 2 months is really unprecedented. Every single week, there's been at least 2 calls between public courses around the state and in general, all courses around the state. We've had those multiple times during the week, and it's a sharing of best practices. It's been incredible. It's shaped a lot of the policy that's going to be going into place or has been put in place at a lot of these courses, and those have been happening since basically the middle of March. And those things that have come out in the guidelines were things that were shaped in those meetings. And so I was just really proud to be a part of it, and I'm glad to see that so many courses have also been able to jump on board and follow the rules and follow the guidelines. That was always the worry in place, was we could put these out there and then then the golfing public doesn't respond to it. But I think because of the way that each of the professional has handled each of their golf courses is the reason why this has been so successful, is because expectations were put out there in the proper way of how golfers will be let back onto the golf course and such. And if it wasn't done that way, and if it was just a general message from, let's say, the Illinois PGA or the CDGA and not treated on a course-by-course basis by their professional in the right way, I think it would have been a disaster. So I'm really proud of the fellow professionals in the state and helping in getting golf, again, closer and closer and closer back to normal.
From the public perspective, I think there's a lot of competition in businesses. Golf courses are no different. But I think without working together on this one and trying to get the regulations and guidelines loosened, we wouldn't have what we have now on May 29th.
Absolutely. The number one goal was to ensure customer safety, and then number 2 was how do we handle this pent-up demand by the Illinois golfer? I mean, Illinois is one of the most passionate golf states, and we wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page in how we were going to treat this, because if we were all not on the same page, it would have been a complete disaster coming right out of the gate.
So what's next here at Mistwood? I know we'll be opening up the tee sheet and looking forward to seeing more golfers out here.
Yeah, we'll be opening the tee sheet to the public in the next 24 hours here, allowing the public to book. We're going to go back to our normal booking times, which is 14 days in advance for our members and 10 days in advance for our public. So, again, one of those steps getting back to normal, and just excited to see foursomes, excited to see more golfers on the property, and it's going to be on us, and we are definitely more than prepared to make sure that everyone is safe on the property and social distancing properly. But we know that golf is extremely safe as is, and we're taking all the proper precautions.
Let's talk big picture golf now. We had a live event last weekend. We had Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and Matthew Wolff, which I must say, I feel bad for him because he took a lot of flack on social media. Why is he with all of these top-tier golfers? But he's 21. He's an NCAA champion. He just hasn't had time. He's a huge baller.
He's a baller. Second hole, he hit the ball 356 off the tee. Like, if you're around golf, you know who Matt Wolff is. You know he belongs in that company, and you know it's only a matter of time till he's winning some big-time stuff.
And it was a huge opportunity for TaylorMade to put their guy out there. That was genius.
Oh, it's absolute genius. I mean, he is, if golf has a freak show, he is the golf freak show right now. So he's a perfect guy to put out there, and underneath their brand stamp, they loved it. It was perfect. And honestly, what's so cool about Matt Wolff's swing is the fact that he now is helping people educate on shallowing the club. He's helping and educate on how the center of mass of a golf club and of a club head moves throughout the swing the most efficiently. His action looks funky, but I'll tell you what, it's one of the best when you look at it from a physics and a physical standpoint of the golf swing.
You read my mind because I wanted to ask you about that. You look at his swing, he winds up the front heel, lifts it up kind of like a baseball, loading it up type thing. He turns his hips and shoulders. He goes way over the top. Then he shallows out insanely quickly, and his club speed must be just out of this world.
Well, think of kind of a whip. How would you whip something? It'd be the fastest from here. So the fact that he's going up and then shallowing, he's creating all this energy right here and throwing that whip down through the clubhead area faster than literally almost everyone on tour. His clubhead speed's 125. That's probably amongst the top 5 or 6 on tour. So what he's doing and what he's able to accomplish, I don't know the long-term effects. I just know right now it's pretty darn good.
And I think 11th hole, it was a 368-yard drive, 11 or 12. So the distance is there. That's not a problem.
Right, absolutely. Honestly, all 4 of those guys do an incredible job of showing the club and getting the center mass a little bit behind them and able to throw it. But, yeah, Matt Wolff's feature is definitely unique. The one thing I really, really enjoyed, and I threw this out there on social media, I loved how rusty they looked. Like, I am so I'm going to speak on behalf as a PSA for the golf professionals out there. What you see on Sunday is not the real tour players. What you see on Sunday is their best week of maybe 3 weeks out of the year. That is not how real tour players hit it. I mean, Dustin Johnson might have broke 80. I'm not sure. We're still counting up the shots. Because he hit it in the water, 2 or 3 times during that whole round.
Yeah.
He hits a horrible drive on 2. He necks a drive on 15 in the water. I mean, I loved watching that because it makes people at home, and actually people at home should have got a lot out of that. It makes people at home go, you know what? Even he needs a practice. Even he's a little bit rusty. I mean, I played yesterday. I'm beating myself up. I hit a ball in 2 weeks, and I'm beating myself up over the way I hit it. It's like, you can't do that. Like, you're improperly setting expectations every single time you go out. So
It was funny and awesome hearing him say, I don't know when the last time was that I carried a bag. And I think one thing it really proved, which we've been a huge advocate for, is socially distancing during golf. And we've done a good job putting that out there.
Yeah.
It was a clinic. It was easy, and they weren't even trying. It's just so much space out there. And to see those 4 guys carrying their own bags, being their own caddy, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. I mean, it looked just like a Sunday foursome at your local course. And the other cool part about it, obviously, is how the event was run and how I was able to raise money. That's the one thing that's so cool, I think, about tour golf is when you look at the purses, at least half the purses always are going to a charity. No other sport sniffs what golf does as far as on the charitable donation side. So it was really cool to kind of see people one-upping each other as the broadcast went on. And was a total of over $4 million got raised.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
Darn good.
$5.5 million for COVID-19 relief.
Wow.
And some chirping along the way. And hey, I got this money. What I make? $25 million in the FedEx. Like, there was some nice little jabs.
There's little jabs. You're always expecting more. You're always hoping for more out of that. I think even the match last year between Tiger and Phil, we were expecting more jabs back and forth. But these guys are taking it serious. It was funny what Rory said. He goes, it's a lot more pressure trying to make a putt when it's somebody else's money. It's not like it's for him. It's to help the charities that they designated at the start of the round. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but it's a tough format. I mean, you're making putts for $600,000. That's a whole new ball of wax.
It's like Michael Jordan type stuff out there. What? One debate I did want to touch on, they were all wearing shorts. I know with the PGA Tour, they loosened their restrictions a couple years ago. Pros can wear shorts during the practice rounds. They were all wearing shorts. As a pro, what do you think about shorts during competition?
As Jay Cutler would say, don't care. They should absolutely be allowed to wear shorts. They need some sun on those legs, too, a little bit, but they should absolutely be able to wear shorts. My enjoyment of them playing golf has zero to do with shorts. Zero to do with shorts. And it doesn't, cut down on their professionalism or anything like that. That was always the thing in the past. We're still supposed to wear pants and things like that, but honestly, see them in shorts on TV, that's not a big deal. I think they actually relate more to the average Joe if they do stuff like that.
And let's talk about match number 2. We have Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. That's happening on Sunday. Your thoughts?
I'm putting Phil and Tom Brady as heavy favorites based on what I've seen with Peyton Manning's golf swing.
I haven't seen either of their golf swings, so I don't know.
Is it a best ball format or?
I have no idea. I just want to know what you think about it as a whole.
I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be awesome. Maybe a missed opportunity. I think in both of these charity events, I think there's a small missed opportunity with not including a woman in them. I think that, having both these events and not having, some type of female presence, I think is a little bit of a mistake. But definitely excited for the match. It's always interesting to see these athletes when they're on a field that is not their own field, because they definitely kind of bow down to the difficulty of golf. That's for sure.
I like the lightened up atmosphere, seeing Tiger joking around and them getting at each other, a little bit like the match last weekend. But I just think it's nice to see them not feeling the pressure of a championship, having those looser conversations. I think that's valuable because, again, it relates to the average Joe golfer and everything like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest benefit that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, I think, will add to this whole thing is they're going to add that element of spice to this. And then also, Phil and Tiger played last year in the match, and they heard the criticism and some of the feedback. Oh, you guys didn't talk enough and stuff like that. So they're going to yuck it up. It's going to be a fun production. I heard Charles Barkley's going to hop in for a hole and stuff like that. So it should be a good watch. Should be a fun watch.
Well, as far as coverage goes, Amanda Balionis, Charles Barkley, I think Trevor Immelman's going to be there. And then also the one I'm most intrigued about is Justin Thomas, because he's a great follow on social media. He's got that young, youthful star. I think he's number 4 in the world right now. So I think he might blast him a little bit or give a little bit. He's going to be an on-course analyst.
Yeah, Tiger's or Justin Thomas is in Tiger's small little circle of friends. When Tiger's playing practice rounds, he only plays with certain guys. He only plays with a few guys. He's latched on to Justin Thomas right away. So Justin probably knows some inside baseball, knows how to kind of get in Tiger's grill a little bit. So it should be fun to hear some of the commentary coming from Justin Thomas.
So that's really exciting. I know I'm going to tune into that. For us, it really is back to business. We mentioned club fittings earlier on in this episode, and we actually had a conversation with performance specialist Eric Russell. I know they are getting excited to get people fit with the perfect club. How was it this winter with the fittings and operations over there at the Dome?
Fittings were great here at Mistwood Golf Dome over the wintertime. So very busy. A lot of traffic was coming through for not only the dome itself, but people that were looking to obviously get fit with their current equipment, but also looking to see if they can upgrade into the newest equipment that's out. So usually the wintertime, roughly about end of January, early February, is when a lot of the new product launches and comes out. And the really cool thing we got to do is go down to Orlando in the wintertime to the PGA Merchandise Show and get a chance to get a hands-on approach and check out all the new equipment down there and talk to the industry leaders and kind of give us the info of, why they designed it the way they did and how it works and, better ways for us to get it into the golfer's hands.
Eric, I would say probably the most common misconception is that the higher handicap players aren't good enough to get fit for golf clubs. What's your opinion on that?
That's a question we get asked all the time, and that is one that is furthest from the truth, that anyone and everyone can always get fit for clubs. We have some of the most elite players come through us and get fit, and they're always trying to get better. And then also the high handicappers that, are struggling with their equipment and they want to see something with better dispersion, maybe not just sheer distance, but something that they can be more relying on and hit that 7-iron 150 yards each and every time, or a driver that can consistently find the fairway for them. So, yeah, it might not always be the distance category that everyone's always looking for. It's something that's just going to have them play easier golf for them.
As much as I would say I'm a natural athlete, I probably fall into that 12 to 14 handicap range. I know I got fitted last year, and I did see those instant results. I don't want to use myself just as an example, but I feel like it is pertinent to those 12 to 14 handicappers because I believe I took 3 to 4 strokes off my game, which is huge in the game of golf, Eric.
Yeah, and another aspect that a lot of people don't look at as well, too, that we weigh heavily on during a fitting is we want to make sure you have the right amount of gapping between your sets. So sometimes players will have a pitching wedge that's 45 degrees, and then the next club they have in their bag is a 56-degree wedge. So there's 11 degrees of difference there that where maybe a approach wedge or a gap wedge in between there will hugely help out their game. So they're not trying to swing really hard on a 56 to try and muscle it to 125 yards or so, whereas they could back off a little more and swing a little easier with a 50-degree wedge to get to those certain distances. So that's something we always weigh heavily on and look into during the fitting.
What's some of the, on top of just sheer distance, always looking to, squeeze out those few yards here and there. What are some of the aspects in a fitting that, kind of for the novice person or first-time person getting a fitting, what are some of the things that you guys focus on when giving a fitting?
Yeah, great question there, Andy. One thing a lot of people do is they come in and they will always ask me, what club head speed should I have? And that's where we have to inform the client that, everyone's always going to have a different swing speed. So we're going to try and maximize your swing speed with the proper shaft and the proper head to hopefully capitalize on giving you the best efficiency with that club that's in your hand. So those aspects will be, we will take a look at swing speed. That's one factor, but also how does the person approach hitting the golf ball? Are they hitting down on the golf ball? Are they hitting up on the golf ball? Does their club head path come in to out or out to in? And another thing is the amount of spin rate that's coming off of the club head too will help us determine, not only loft, but also the type of shaft that we're going to fit that person into. So, there's a lot of different aspects we'll look into. And again, it doesn't always fit on a chart that's perfect for every single one that we can fit somebody into. That's where the best option really is just coming in and swinging the clubs itself and us looking at the monitors and going from there.
Well, when somebody's getting a fitting at Mistwood, what are some of the brands that we're fitting players into?
Yeah, so we do carry a wide variety of brands that we'll offer. Again, from the driver to fairway woods, hybrids, irons, wedges, and putter. So yeah, the ones that we carry are Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, Mizuno, Cleveland and Shrixon, Cobra, and also PXG. So all those brands have been doing really well for us, not only within the past year, but also this past winter as well.
How different, or is it different for you to do these fittings outside at Mistwood in the open air?
Yeah, it is it's a great aspect to see a full ball flight for the client. You know, it gives them a sense of, you know, not only do they feel as though that the shot's going a little bit right or left, but then they do see the actual landing of the flight. So it's really a kind of a sensation or a feel to the client that really comes back to them, that they understand and can read off of seeing the actual ball flight as opposed to just kind of seeing it on a digital screen. So that instant feedback also wins them over with, you know, the type of club that they are fit into.
Eric Russell, performance specialist, along with Chris Iriarty at Mistwood Golf Club. Look forward to seeing you out there soon, buddy.
Perfect. Sounds great. Looking forward to it.
And our thanks to Eric Russell for taking the time to do that. We know a lot of people are excited, itching to get back out here. They want to get fitted. They want to get lessons. They just want to play a round of golf with 3 of their friends, and it's going to happen.
That's right, baby. Foursome's coming.
Really good to get back in the seat with you, too. I miss talking with you. I miss talking golf. We're going to do this sooner than later, and we appreciate everyone tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Get in the cart.
Right at us.
The best in the business, Roger Cleveland.
Can't wait to get back to Chicago and Mistwood.
This is Party of 4, a Mistwood Golf Club podcast.